Hello and welcome to your June 2021 solar eclipse video happening on the 10th of June in the sign of Gemini. So the moon and the sun will be in Gemini with the Mercury retrograde in Gemini, and the Mercury retrograde will be squaring Neptune. Whew. Okay, so a solar eclipse, sun, moon, and Mercury all in Gemini. Now that's conjunct energy. And a Mercury retrograde can be confusing. It can be missed appointments, lack of communication, feeling a complete disconnect, feeling brain fog. With the square, that Mercury retrograde squaring Neptune, which is a planet of illusion in Pisces, it can make us feel dreamy, escapism, illusion, deception, secrets, all of that kind of energy. Lack of honesty, lack of clarity, foggy as well. And the solar eclipse will also be in square to Neptune. Vitality, that's what the sun is, solar. It offers us vitality, motivation, inspiration. The energy will be lacking because of that square to Neptune. So you might find yourself lacking the energy. Do please rest. Do please take care of yourself. Do please do the things you need to do for you. That's all you need to do, is do the things you need to do for you. This wouldn't be the time to get involved in the environment around you, because the environment around you is confusing. And what I mean by the environment around you, the people around you, the places you find yourself, just seems like it's lacking the clarity and stability you would like it to have. Now, let's talk about stability. See, all the fixed signs rule stability. Our mutable signs rule basically the change, the fluctuation, and our cardinal signs take us into the new energy. So Gemini is a mutable sign, so the energy is already fluctuating. You know, things go one way, then another way, then this way, then that way. It feels confusing as it is. It's not cardinal energy taking you into this direction. This is where we're going, you know. This is the change. It's mutable. It's about dealing with changes in a mutable fluctuation kind of way, which is a bit difficult when things fluctuate so much when we're initiating change with the solar eclipse, because, you know, us as humans like the idea that, okay, I'm making this change and this is the direction I'm going and it's going that way. And yes, now it's like, I'm making this change, I'm making this move in this direction, but maybe, So with this new moon in manifestations, with the Mercury retrograde, where we are manifesting is where we think. I think of this thing and I want to create it into reality. So these are my thoughts. So I might write it down, all of those things to manifest. It might be a bit hard with the Mercury retrograde ruling thoughts, writing as well. We might change what we want. It's why I think during this solar eclipse, honestly speaking, self-care is more important. Time out. You will feel exhausted. You would feel like you need the relax and rejuvenation, because that's what Mercury retrograde offers you. The more you relax during a Mercury retrograde, the more you gentle with yourself, the more easier you are with yourself, the easier life becomes. The more you try in a Mercury retrograde to push hard and be like, whoo, I need to do this and that appointment is going to happen at that time, and it's just going to frustrate you when Mercury comes along and plays that role of disruption of what you think is going to happen, how it's going to happen, and changes happen, you know. I think last week I experienced a lot of Mercury retrograde issues with like electricity and technology and all of those things. So what did I do? I took a nap. Because that's what Mercury retrograde is about. It's about taking time out. And you know, why is it when we need to take a nap or we need to rest, do we ever feel bad about like either saying it or expressing it? You know, because we all want to be these individuals that gets up and goes and takes action, moves. We're so used to fast pace. But when things gotta slow down and you gotta slow down, why do we feel a little bit, you know, like, oh, that's what I did. I relaxed. I took my time out. But that's what it's about. And honor that. Honor that as something sacred. Don't do this thing like I gotta not do these things. You know, I need to work. I need to do this, reschedule, take the time out for yourself. It's in your best interest. If you don't take care of you, who's gonna? During the eclipse season, my God, honestly, it's one of those times where you have to take the most care of you. You got to limit your interactions with people, I would state, because you got to go within, and you can't go within if you are with everyone and everything. How do you go within then? How do you reassess? How do you reevaluate? How do you rejuvenate? Did you know that sleeping actually boosts your immune system and it's good for you? So take care of you. Do those things. Like I said, solar eclipse will be squaring Neptune. So you're going to feel like you're lacking that energy. So don't push it when you don't have it. You know, if you feel it, good, utilize it. But if you don't have to. Now, with all of those things being said, and also why I say, even if you do feel very motivated, be wary. It's a Mercury retrograde. Really reassess, like, is it something new? Did someone just introduce this to me? Who is this person? Did I just meet them? Question yourself. Why are we such impatient beings and we just can't wait a minute? No, wait. Give yourself time, especially during an eclipse season. Things change a lot. A lot of change happens. A lot of fluctuation, mutable energy, a Mercury retrograde. We're changing. Yes, we are moving in a new direction, but I would say this new direction wants to happen in a slow and gentle kind of way, and more so within yourself. Now, let's talk about Gemini, because Gemini is somewhere in your chart. You can always come to me for a reading, book with me where I can look at where Gemini is in your chart. But Gemini being in your chart, in one of your houses, collectively, we're all dealing with the twin kind of energy within our lives. The twins, the duality. That's what Gemini rules, the duality. The hands, the left, the right, the duality, the day, the night, the positive and the negative. And we, as human beings, need these things. They interact. They work off of each other. They feed off of each other. They create together, the masculine, the feminine, all of these energies coming together day, night, so forth. So let's look at it within ourselves in the twin energy, because we all have it, negative and positive. So there's been times in your life, I'm sure, where you've been overly positive, be it a relationship, be it a job, be it a new career venture, be it something you want to do, right? You're so positive, but you don't see the red flags, or you don't see the chance that something else might happen. You don't plan for those things. You're just so positive. You want to be hopeful. You ignore it. So you meet someone, great. Good, right? But they have a few quirks. Let's not be so bad. These things can work out. Sure enough, they might have lied to me a few times, but all's well. Anywho, and it turns out, like, later you're like, why did I do that? We sometimes can be overly positive, overly invest in things, or a career venture that you want. Say something you want to start a business. You decide to invest all this time, effort, and money, but you didn't look at, okay, how am I going to market it? How am I going to put it out there? Well, how am I going to share it? How am I going to, find ways in order to bring it to life? Be fair enough, I have the idea, I have the money, I have the finance, but how's it going to come around to people to want to be a part of it? And we don't think of that. Next time we put all this energy in, it doesn't work out. Or career change. Maybe you change your career and you choose to work in a place that maybe isn't the best hours. Maybe it's not something you really want to do. But hey, something new. Let's try it. Let's be hopeful. And then, all of those things. It's about being overly positive to the point that sometimes it can even negatively impact you. And it happens to all of us. See the positive within the negative. Now let's look at the negative aspect, because we have it too. Haven't you met someone? They're great, but maybe you've been burnt and hurt in the past. And now when you're with that person, you just think of all the insecurities you felt before, and maybe they're late for a date and you all of a sudden think something funny is going on, or they couldn't make it, and next thing you're in a big blowout. Or negative when starting a new business. So you have maybe the finance, or you have the support or someone's willing to help you, but you don't have the self-belief. You're like doubtful of yourself. You don't take the chance. You don't put yourself out there. You hold yourself back because you're being so negative about it. You just don't think it's going to work, no matter how. So you could have everything, but as long as you don't think or believe it's going to work, it's not going to work. Or negative about, oh, maybe I shouldn't go work there. New job, I don't know those people, it's going to be terrible. And then maybe you go there the first day. Okay, it's the first day and it's hard, but now you're like, oh, this is the worst place. I don't think anything is ever going to work out for me. I really, I don't think anything is ever going to work out for me. Just hear that statement. It's not just based on this day, it's based now on forever and ever, till whenever. It's never going to work. So even in the negative too, we can be so negative excessively. And I think the whole thing about the twins in Gemini is about the balance, the unity within ourselves, is to work with it. Be positive and optimistic. Note your red flags in whichever situation you got to and utilize it to your advantage and kind of turn it into a wonderful cooked meal. Because you're blending the energies. It's a blend of energies. That's why, Gemini is a mutable energy. It's a blend of energies. It's learning to blend. That's why it's this, before we have either our winter solstice or our solar solstice, those seasons basically, because that's what the Cancer energy brings in, that cardinal change of energy into the new season. That's what cardinal energies bring in astrology, that change. We're currently in a mutable energy. It's that blend. It's that in-between zone. And that's what we need to do within ourselves. And why am I taking it so strongly to within ourselves? Because if we're going to try and figure out things now with people and situations, it's just going to become hella confusing. Because the energy does bring up feeling manipulated, feeling deceived, feeling confused, not understanding why people are taking the actions that they're taking, not understanding why at work these colleagues are acting the way they're acting, not understanding why my family is acting the way they're acting, feeling so disconnected, feeling like, I don't know, maybe I was manipulated, maybe this person's trying to manipulate, maybe they're trying to control me. And guess what? Now we're in more anxiety and paranoia. So, key importance here is to bring it back to self, because look at yourself. The only change you are responsible for and can make is the change you make within yourself. You can't change people. We can all try. We can influence to an extent, meaning by maybe saying something or encouraging someone, we can influence them to make the change they've already wanted to make. The change they already wanted to make within themselves. Influence is just like a nudge, It can be good or bad, but either way, that was already existing within that person to want to move in that direction, and you just spoke the right words or maybe took the right action to push them in that, or not push them, just give them a nudge like, here you go, this is where you need to be. So that being said, the only change you can make in a season that is changing a lot, solar eclipse change, fated change, mutable energy changes, fluctuation in changes, before we enter our cardinal energy, which is the change itself. So the fluctuation, how do we handle that? How do we blend it within ourselves? And the only energy you start with is you, to make changes within you. And that's why during eclipse seasons, it's so important for self-care. And more so with this one, more so because there's a Mercury retrograde. So things that we might think now, we might change later. We might only gain clarity at a later date. But if situations arise where you're forced to make the changes you need to make them, honor them, do them, because it's fated. So if someone isn't being honest with you, note it and make a change and fluctuate with that change, and know that you need to do it for your own good in its own way as you can. So gently, I see this, it's not what I want, and distance yourself, break away in those kinds of ways. So this is an energy of breaking away. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.